Today is a grave day. We have not approached this day or this process lightly. Secretary Mayorkas' actions have forced our hand. We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border, our criminals to waltz in undeterred. And we cannot allow a cabinet secretary with no regard for the separation of powers or the rule of law to remain in office. That is why today we present this committee with the articles of impeachment against Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
Secretary Mayorkas' actions and decisions clearly meet the standard necessary for initiating impeachment proceedings. This historical evidence is overwhelming that the Founding Fathers intended impeachment to be used to deal with the commission of indictable crimes and the abuse of power, corruption, and injury to the nation caused by public officials, among others. At the Constitutional Convention, the framers purposely devised the impeachment power to include any offenses against the nation's security committed by high officials. Stephen Bradbury, former Principal Deputy and Acting Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of Justice, there is a settled understanding beyond dispute that impeachable offenses include both prosecutable crimes and all manner of gross misconduct in office that does serious harm to the U.S. political system or the U.S. constitutional order. The actions, policies, and statements of Secretary Mayorkas easily meet that standard, and the American people completely agree.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the border crisis, as Democrats and Republicans in the Senate are negotiating a so-called bipartisan border deal, which is really just a package to give Democrats everything they want when it comes to keeping the border open, because the bill doesn't actually really close the border, and to send money overseas to Ukraine and Israel and other places, right? That's essentially what the bill is for. This is what they are negotiating in the Senate. However, that bill is on life support. Meanwhile, we got to talk about what's going on in the House, which is the potential impeachment of Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Mr. Alejandro Mayorkas, okay, who is being charged with essentially high crimes and misdemeanors because he has intentionally encouraged illegal immigration with lax policies and violated public trust by making false statements to Congress. And I got to tell you guys, I 100% support this guy being impeached, okay, as the Republicans are taking an unprecedented step, a step that hasn't been taken in a long time in regards to a presidential cabinet member being impeached by the House. The last time this happened was under former President Ulysses S. Grant. His Secretary of War, William Bucknap, was impeached on allegations of corruption, but he was acquitted in the Senate, right? I hope that that's not the outcome here. I hope that this guy is actually impeached and he is found guilty in the Senate and he's removed, because this guy is an absolute idiot and unqualified when it comes to the border, because he calls actual solutions like the Republican Secure the Border Act violence when it comes to securing the border. Again, this guy who's supposed to be in charge of securing the border says that securing the border is violence. Take a look.
And Mr. Secretary, to the point of needing Congress to act, what Senate Republicans are pushing for really right now is very similar to H.R. 2, which passed the House, the Secure the Border Act. And just to name a couple of things in it, you know, restart construction on the border wall, increase the number of Border Patrol agents, limit asylum, narrow the president's parole powers. Why is that unpalatable to the administration?
I would say two things. One, we've presented proposals that address the situation, that provide real practical solutions, and also do not do violence to our fundamental values. We are a country of refuge. We do have asylum laws. We do have refugee laws. We abide by our international obligations that are long-standing. And so that is my response to that. Some of the proposals are reasonable and worthy of discussion. Others are frankly not.
Yeah, so you should be able to quickly see why this guy definitely should be impeached and removed. The guy clearly is not doing his job. Also, Kamala should be impeached as well, too, because she's supposed to be the border czar. She's supposed to be his boss, okay? He's supposed to be answering to her, and she never answers questions about illegal immigration because she's essentially quit on the issue, right? So I actually think that Kamala should be impeached as well. But in the meantime, while, Republicans are going through this hearing to potentially have Alejandro Mayorkas impeached, Democrats, of course, are boohoo, whining, crying, and they're melting down over what is happening. Take a look.
Tonight, for the first time in 150 years, a cabinet official is staring down the possibility of impeachment. House Republicans accusing DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas of willful and systemic refusal to comply with immigration laws and a breach of public trust. Since President Biden took office, there's been a record 8.6 million migrants crossing the border.
Joe Biden has turned every community into a border community with his failed policies.
But Democrats blasting the move.
The House Republicans have clearly turned their ever-shrinking majority over to the extremists. And this sham impeachment of Secretary Mayorkas is just another sad example.
Mayorkas, a key part of the negotiations around a border security package, which Republicans demanded before they'll pass any new funding for Ukraine. Bipartisan senators are working on the border legislation President Biden vowed would help him deal with the crisis, including granting him new emergency authority.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
If Joe Biden truly wanted to secure the border, he doesn't really need a bill. I did it with the current laws.
Republican frontrunner Donald Trump urging Congress to torpedo the deal for not being tough enough.
Please blame it on me, please, because they were getting ready to pass a very bad bill.
Among the provisions, it could still allow up to 5,000 migrants per day to cross the border. But Democrats and some Republicans believe Trump wants to kill the bill to boost his presidential prospects.
Ryan Nobles joins us live tonight from Capitol Hill. So, Ryan, where do things stand with that proposed border security deal tonight?
Well, it could be introduced any day now, Tom, and even if it does pass the Senate, it faces an uncertain future in the House. Speaker Mike Johnson has said the package could be dead on arrival.
Yeah, as it should be, because Republicans should not settle for anything less than their own bill when it comes to fixing the border, which can be fixed right now by the Biden administration. Put it this way, he can put a executive order Band-Aid on it, right? Because a lot of you guys want to go back and forth with me about this this idea about whether or not we actually need a bill or not. Okay, we don't need a bill for Joe Biden to take the executive actions that he has, the powers that he has to put back in place the policies that Trump implemented during his presidency to deter illegal immigration. Okay, you don't need a bill for that. But if you want to make those policies permanent, if you want to put them on the books to where Joe Biden just can't come in, or any Democrat just can't come in and just repeal them with executive actions, then yes, you do need a bill, okay? And I'm going to stick to my guns on this because I don't want Republicans to get in power after Trump is elected president and he essentially tries to secure the border with executive action and says, oh, well, we don't need to do anything, right? That's it. This is all we need to do. And then if a Democrat gets elected in 2028, they can just come back in and just, repeal everything that Trump did, right? That keeps the issue a political football. I'm sick and tired of the border being a political football, okay? And this is why I think that we definitely need a bill. We need the bill that Republicans were pushing from the beginning, the Secure the Border Act, maybe even more than that, to be quite honest with you. We need everything that we can, including a bill, to get a permanent solution on this issue, okay? Because I don't, again, want this to continue to be a political football, which is what Democrats and Republicans love to do, right? I'm just saying, okay? It's not as simple as Biden needs to enforce the laws on the books, because Biden is taking advantage of loopholes in the laws. And if the laws on the books were enough, then Trump would not have needed executive orders in order to strengthen the border in the first place, right? So I'm just saying it's not that simple. This is a very complicated issue. There are a lot of rules and restrictions and nuances to border security and how the laws work that honestly need to be reworked entirely. This is why you need a bill, okay, to make it permanent so that you don't have to do it through executive actions, which Biden can do, right? Biden can do things through executive actions. He can re-implement Trump's executive actions. He just doesn't want to, right? So we know that he actually really doesn't want to secure the border. I'm just saying that when Trump gets in office, we need a bill, right? Not just executive actions. Executive actions are temporary. Laws are permanent. Biden or Democrats just can't come in and just say, hey, well, I'm not going to enforce the law. That's just not how it works. And before anybody says that, oh, no, he can't just choose not to enforce the law, let me just say that any Democrat that comes in and chooses not to enforce the laws, there are severe consequences for not enforcing the laws. Okay, this is why we have a legal system. This is why we have a judicial system, the Supreme Court, in order to help sort these things out. This is why we have an impeachment process. This is why we have these processes in place when people don't enforce the laws, okay? But we definitely need a bill because we need stronger, tougher laws overall. But the so-called bipartisan plan between Democrats and Republicans in the Senate is not that, right? That's not what we need, okay? We don't need that bill, okay? We do not need that, okay? I'm just saying. So with that being said, until then, Democrats are trying to tell us what Trump's border plan is, okay? And this right here is absolutely hilarious, okay? This is Democrat Robert Garcia, who I believe is from California. He is going to tell us about Trump's border policy, but it's going to totally backfire, right? It's going to backfire. This is absolutely hilarious. This is one of the funniest things I've seen all day.
Donald Trump speaks about immigrants with the same rhetoric that Hitler did, claiming that immigrants like me and my family, and I quote, pollute the blood of this country. He said illegal immigrants. He said illegal immigrants, okay? Illegal immigrants. Chaos. And he's admitted he even would like to see a recession happening this year. But I want to remind the public and the majority that Donald Trump... Will the gentleman yield? I will not yield. I want to remind the public that Donald Trump and House Republicans also have their own ideas for the border. So let's review the majority's border ideas that they've actually presented. Here they are. Donald Trump actually has said that he wants to build alligator moats along the border. That's one of his incredible ideas. Another idea that Donald Trump has promoted is he actually wants to electrify the border fence and maybe even put some spikes on the border. That's another Donald Trump and MAGA majority border idea.
This sounds amazing, right? This sounds great. I'm just saying. I mean, Obama also tossed out the idea of building a moat and putting alligators in it, okay, when Democrats were sane, right, and decent when it came to this issue. Yeah, I'm just saying this doesn't sound terrible, right? This actually sounds pretty good. I mean, I feel like this is definitely something we should do.
Another idea, which I'm not sure how well it would go, is he wants to actually bomb northern Mexico with missiles. That's another Trump idea. And finally, I think one of the ones that I think is the most grotesque is suggestions that instead we should maybe just shoot migrants in the legs as they cross the border. So once again, the Donald Trump and MAGA plan is alligator moats, bombing northern Mexico, shooting migrants in the legs, and electrifying the fence and putting spikes on them. That is the Donald Trump border plan.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Okay, absolutely amazing. I don't think that went the way that this guy thought that it would go, because there's a lot of people who are responding to this guy making these wild accusations that honestly I think are pretty good ideas, right? To be quite honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the issue here, right? People are responding and saying, Robbie Starbucks says, replace the shooting part with lasers, sharks, and drones that drop green goo like they used to on Nickelodeon, and I'm 100% in. John Jackson says, for starters, nope, not good enough. People need to be more fearful. Yeah, some people want more. Oh, ish, whoever designed this has my vote. Where's the issue? This man is on the verge of tears using memes posted on the internet to defend his position of an open border. Facts. He forgot the sharks with laser beams. I'm already supporting Trump. He didn't have to convince me. Facts. Democrat congressmen like Robert Garcia aren't serious people. I'm here for the alligator moats. Bomb northern Mexico with missiles. Pretty sure you bomb cartels with bombs. This guy is full of soy. I would have added landmines as well, but that's just me. When did South Park start writing scripts for Congress? Yeah, facts, right? Facts. I personally think that all those things that guy said are great ideas, right? And it actually makes me want to vote for Trump more, right? If that's actually Trump's border plan, then, hey, you know, you didn't have to convince me to vote for Trump even more that I want to vote for him now. But damn, I'm sold, right? 100%, okay? 100%. I was already there, right? I was already there, but now I'm 100%, okay? Again, this is hilarious. Democrats are bending over backwards to defend their open border policies. It really is a damn shame. And, you know, they kind of deserve all the backlash that they're getting. Biden is getting destroyed when it comes to his approval ratings on the issue. And quite honestly, again, this is why Republicans should stick to their guns, right? They should stick to their guns and demand everything that they want when it comes to this border, or no deal, right? No deal. Just let Biden continue to take the political hit to suffer from it, and then we can secure the border when Trump is back in office. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.